everyone, and welcome back to the Q&A. Hasn't it been so nice to see some sunshine? It feels like spring and summer are here. In fact, spring is here now, isn't it? Someone was telling me the other day, I think it was Saturday, that it turned into spring. Anyway, I didn't even realise, but we're in spring, which is amazing. And it feels good to feel the sunshine on your skin, in the UK at least, anyway, right now. So let's go into the Q&A. Before I do, I've had some really brilliant questions recently on perimenopause and how the body is changing as we get into our late 30s, 40s and beyond, and how we can train accordingly. So I just wanted to do a bit of an overall question at the start to cover all of this really, because it does change and it is important to adapt our training ever so slightly where we need to anyway. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that to start off with, and then go into some more specific questions as we continue the Q&A. So I really hope you enjoy it. I hope you get lots from it. If you hear any background noise, by the way, Will is currently teaching his push-up series. So a lot of our squaddies said that they really struggle with doing push-ups. So that is going to be our new series. It is our focus, getting everyone to feel confident doing a push-up, because it's a fantastic functional move. And then he's got Avicii and Calvin Harris next. And yesterday was so good, by the way. We did Pilates with a tea towel. Like, do not underestimate what you can do with the tea towel. It's absolutely brilliant. Team, I honestly highly recommend doing that workout. I think like the stability that the tea towel brings is just unreal. And it's also really fun. And I've got a little lady. So little Autumn is sat by me right now. She is fast asleep. So I'm going to see how much of this Q&A I can get through in one go. Let's see if we can do it all, team. So question number one, like I said, it's a bit of an overarching theme about training in our 40s or sometimes late 30s, i.e. perimenopause and beyond. So perimenopause usually hits round about 45-ish. 45 to 55 is when you start going through the perimenopause. Some people it hits a lot earlier. So some people will experience it mid-30s, some even earlier. But, roughly around about this time, in our 40s-ish, we can start to feel different, like different in our bodies. And we're not imagining it. It's an actual thing. Our body is different and we are entering a new chapter. And this is what's kind of going on really. So firstly, our muscle mass declines, and it declines after the age of about 30. But as soon as we hit perimenopause and menopause, it starts to rapidly decline if we're not doing anything to try and actively preserve it and maintain it. So muscle is metabolically active and metabolically protective. So it helps to regulate our blood sugar levels. It supports our joints. It helps to stabilize our posture, keep us nice and upright, feeling strong. It helps with our recovery. It helps with power. It just helps with daily life. When you are stronger, you find daily life easier. For example, the groceries turn up at your door. You've got these big boxes to carry through. That's just a random daily thing. But even going up the stairs, standing up out of a chair, something so basic like that, or getting down the floor and getting back up again, sprinting across a field if you want to, on the need to, or you want to play with your kids. If you're not doing strength training, you're not doing it in a consistent way, or sometimes even a progressive way to get stronger, you can feel a lot weaker than you used to. And it's a gradual thing. It's not like a sudden thing. It is gradual, but you do notice it as well. So we need to be strength training as a priority. Even if like, but I don't find it the most interesting. I really like cardio, like getting all sweaty and dancing, or that's great. That's brilliant. And that also has a place, but it's really important. If you want to stay strong for life, you need to be doing strength training minimum twice a week. So it's just a given. And sometimes we don't have to do something because, I love it and I love strength training. You might, and that's amazing. But if you don't, do it because it's important. That's also a really valid reason to do it. Now, the second reason is our recovery slows down. So our nervous system becomes a bit less tolerant of doing lots and lots of high intensity. So, for example, in your 20s, or at least when I was at uni, I know that I could have a really bad sleep. I could probably go out drinking. I could smash a workout the next day and just absolutely bounce back. When we reach our 40s and beyond, and perimenopause specifically, poor sleep, it does hit a bit harder. Stress also hits harder, and we actually have more stressors in our lives generally. So a lot of people in this chapter, maybe this is you right now, maybe this isn't you right now, but a lot of people in this chapter are looking after children and also maybe even caring for parents. Maybe you're in the height of your career. There's so many different things pulling on you all at once, and stress levels can be really, really high and quite often chronic. Alcohol can hit harder as well. Back-to-back sessions with exercise hit harder. It's normal and it's physiology. It's not you failing in any way. It just means that recovery capacity is narrowed slightly. And that means that, being sensible with how we lay out our week and listening to our body becomes even more important. Thirdly, we've got a lot of hormones going on here. Hormonal fluctuation can really, really affect how we perform in our workouts and how we show up. And we know that hormonal patterns shift in our 40s. This can influence so many different things, like how your body regulates temperature. This is why hot flushes or flashes, whatever you want to call them, happen, and night sweats. It can affect how fast your heart rate rises. So if you ever feel heart palpitations, fluid retention, so if you're feeling bloated, joint sensitivity, you can wake up feeling really, really achy the next day, or energy stability as well. You just might absolutely feel exhausted all the time. Some weeks your workouts will feel really, really hard. Some weeks you'll feel just really kind of puffy, bloated. Some weeks you'll have really bad headaches. Some weeks you feel really, really sensitive to stress. And some weeks you'll feel like you're on fire. But this is just a nervous system responding and changing. Cortisol also becomes more influential in your life. So high stress, maybe it used to be something that you could just sort of deal with, but now life is busy. Maybe your sleep is broken. You're under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress from lots of different angles. Your body might not respond as well to high intensity training. I'm not saying that it doesn't have a place. It absolutely does. But some days, if you're feeling absolutely depleted, you're feeling so stressed and you're kind of feeling up here, maybe a HIIT workout isn't actually what your nervous system needs. Maybe it just kind of needs leveling out and bring down a little bit. Not every day, cardio, like I said, it does have a really important place, but depending on the situation, sometimes we just need to re-regulate a little bit as well. Now, our cortisol, that's our stress hormone, that affects your blood pressure. It affects your sleep quality. So high cortisol levels, maybe we find it harder to get to sleep. Maybe you find actually you're waking up in the night. Your blood pressure and where your body prefers to store fat. So there's some research that suggests that when we have high cortisol levels, we tend to store fat more around the belly. So smashing yourself harder in every session isn't always the answer. So in our 20s, essentially, you probably feel like you can wing it a little bit. In our 40s, we want structure. 40s and beyond, we want structure. We want to make sure we're including strength workouts. Yes, we do want cardio in there, but we want to be pragmatic about it. Make sure you're getting your steps in. Make sure you're getting the best sleep you possibly can. Okay, controlling the controllables here. Hydrate, eat well, progressively overload, and mobility. And if you're thinking, oh my gosh, Dawn, that is so much right now, just focus on what we do in the squad. Choose the first or the second class on the timetable to follow, or if you've been with me for a while, you might do the double. All the classes complement each other. I'll make sure that you get everything in and make sure you have active recovery days with your mobility, your core, your cardio, your strength. You just have to do that. It's already programmed for you. It's already structured. So your body needs consistency, not chaos right now. So if you can train intelligently, prioritizing your stress, just literally following what we do, manage your stress the best you possibly can, and exercise is a really important part of that as well. You will feel stronger. You will feel more resilient than ever. This is just a different chapter and we have to attack it differently, if you like. So different doesn't mean worse in any way. It doesn't mean your body has, matured or passed it in any way. Absolutely not. This is a new chapter that we can thrive in, and we need to know how to go about doing that in the best way possible for us. And that is how you want to do it and how you want to approach it as well. Question number 2. I've been getting headaches recently when I lift heavy weights. Is this common? Yep, it absolutely can happen. So headaches, particularly around the back of the head, maybe around the ears when you're lifting heavy, they're called exertion headaches. And it can happen for a lot of different reasons. Some of them might be a bit subconscious as well. So maybe holding your breath without realizing, maybe you're clenching your jaw. There might be a lot of tension in your neck and your upper traps, so right at the top of the back there. It can be due to dehydration. It can be due to sudden blood sugar spikes as well. And sometimes lifting heavy without the gradual build up as well to allow our body to get used to it. So a few things that you could try here. You could maybe reduce the weight just for a couple of weeks and see if it still happens. So you could reduce the weight and focus more on volume of reps. So like we do in Stronger to get the same output, if you like. Or you could try, say, really reducing it at the start and building up throughout the workout. Make sure you're relaxing your jaw. Focus on really slow, long exhales during the hardest part of the lift as well. And think of long neck. So we're thinking long neck, shoulders back, relaxing the jaw, exhaling on the effort, and making sure that you are really hydrated. And if you don't already, just include some upper back mobility work if you feel like actually your neck and your shoulders are really, really tight, or your neck and your upper back is really tight as well. Because heavy lifting is fantastic, it's brilliant, and it's a great way to improve strength quick. But we've got to make sure that we're matching it with both the recovery, so we're not getting too tight in that area, and then also the control as we're lifting as well, making sure we're breathing, making sure that there's not too much unnecessary tension in the body. And if the headaches feel really, really sudden and quite explosive or severe, maybe in a new way that doesn't feel right, feels unusual, it's always worth going to talk to your GP anyway, just to rule anything out. But tension-related lifting headaches, they're not uncommon. Question 3. Which classes will be most beneficial for lowering blood pressure, losing weight, and improving cardio health? And this is where people think that I'm going to need more high intensity cardio. But actually, for your blood pressure and for your heart health, it's all about being consistent. Really, really is. Consistency is key. So we want to do some strength training. We want to make sure we're getting steps in. We want to make sure we're walking, moderate intensity cardio. It's so important. And then, of course, it goes hand in hand with making sure that we are eating well as well. So to lose weight, you must be in a calorie deficit, and that wants to come from your food. So we're eating a balanced diet, but we're just eating underneath our maintenance needs, i.e. we're in a deficit. That's going to help us lose weight. So we don't want to be using exercise to lose weight. We want to exercise to improve our strength, to improve our mobility, to improve our core strength, to improve our heart health, to improve our lung health, to live longer, to live a better quality of life. This is why we exercise, not to lose weight. Of course, exercise can help with that to an extent, but if you try and use exercise to lose weight and just think, right, I'm going to work out more and more and more and more, quite often, well, no, more often than not, our watches that tell us how many calories we burn in a workout, they overestimate quite a lot how many calories have been burned. Like, they don't know your body. They don't know your body specifically. And we can end up being like a hamster on a wheel and then not recovering from our workouts and not seeing the benefit from our workouts and just actually end up feeling really, really frustrated, like you're not getting anywhere. So it's going to come from our diet. But yes, in order to be healthy, in order to improve our cardio health, we must be exercising too. So it all comes hand in hand. So the weight loss side comes from the food, blood pressure, that's going to come from exercise, it's going to come from eating well as well, and improving our cardio health, that's going to be our exercise. But being consistent. So as I've already mentioned, our strength training becomes even more important as we get older, because we want to protect our muscle tissue the best we possibly can. So if I was trying to structure a week for someone with these goals, I would say you want to do 3 strength training sessions, absolute minimum 2, and then a couple of cardio sessions, daily steps, and then get in some stretch. Or just follow the first class on the timetable or the second class on the timetable, and it will have you covered. You don't need to destroy yourself. You don't need to do the same workout over and over again, but you do need to be consistent and just keep showing up for you and making sure that you show up. You plan your classes for the week ahead. You stay consistent. You do the workout even if you don't feel like it, unless you're ill, of course. We do the workout even when we don't feel like it because of these things, because we want to improve our heart health, because we want to lose weight, because we want to lower our blood pressure. And think about why that's important to you as well, because on the weeks where it feels really hard and you don't feel motivated, we want to be holding on to that really, real deep why you really, really want to do this. Yes, I want to lose weight, but why? Because it's what I want to feel more energized. I want to feel confident in my clothes, but I want to lower my blood pressure. Okay, well, why? Because, I don't know, insert your reason why. Because I want to be able to live a long, healthy and good quality life, for example, so that I can watch my kids grow up and go to their wedding, or my grandkids. So think about that. And then choose sessions that you actually enjoy as well. So earlier I said, yes, you need to be doing strength training. That is a given. Everything else, if you don't enjoy strength training, everything else, you want to make sure that you're choosing something that you enjoy. We have so many different cardio sessions, so many different holistic sessions. Choose the one that you enjoy because it's the one you'll keep coming back to as well. Question 4. What class or exercise would you recommend for the Cleveland Walk training? It's going to be so good. I can't wait. So good thing is we've got time. We have time. So we want some specific preparation. So these are the kind of things that we want to be thinking about. We want to be thinking about our glute strength, our powerhouse. We want to be thinking about our core strength and our deep core strength and stability in particular. Single leg strength. We want to be thinking about time on our feet too, because it is a long time walking. I would be prioritizing, firstly, doing lower body strength. So doing our booty band classes at least once a week. I would also be doing our stronger sessions, and anything you see lower body that comes onto the timetable, do that. There will be some single leg strength in there. So I'd definitely recommend that. We also don't want to be creating too much tightness. So I would be doing some either yoga skate, because that's going to release the whole body, or just some general yoga mobility. Or, as soon as you see stretch come on the timetable, get yourself to a stretch, particularly again, lower body. That's important. We want to be doing cardio as well. So we can power ourselves up those hills. So just make sure that that's got a place in your week. And for the person who asked this question, I know it definitely does. So that's brilliant. And all of these things. So we're thinking lower body strength, glute strength. We're thinking, yep, let's keep doing some cardio. You might even want to do step aerobics, because obviously there is going to be an incline on the Cleveland way. So doing things like step aerobics, that's working cardio, and also going to be working our single leg stability at the same time, and actually our core stability. So speaking of that, core stability, make sure you do the deep core rebuild series, and make sure that Pilates is in your workout plan, absolute minimum. Well, minimum once a week, but I'd like to see it a couple of times a week, really. So they're little things that you can focus on. So think about hitting strength, cardio, holistic. Particularly, we're looking at the lower body. Of course, don't just leave upper body from now until September. Make sure that's still got a place in your week. So maybe you do stronger, because that's going to work everything, but you have a specific targeted glute or lower body workout each week. You're doing the deep core rebuild and doing Pilates. If you do both those things, that's fine. So 1 Pilates, 1 deep core rebuild a week. Or maybe you do a couple of Pilates, deep core rebuild, but just making sure that you've got some specific core work in there as well. Maybe doing step aerobics, but whatever you do, just make sure you got some cardio element in there. And of course, you're wanting to be doing the thing, which is walking, and doing it with a rucksack as well. So think about what you're going to take on the day. You're going to have a lot of water with you. You can have spare clothes, etc. So let's be taking a rucksack with us when we can. So making sure that you're doing daily steps, and then at the weekend, if you can, doing a longer walk and just building that up closer and closer and closer to the time, and taking a rucksack with you on that longer walk. But build it steady. Let your body adapt, let the tissues adapt. And if you feel any niggles, anything doesn't feel right, just make sure that you're allowing your body adequate recovery time as well. Just rest. And so, rest is a really important part of that too. Are there any sequences to doing Pilates and yoga escape? I found Pilates, I think it was the love handles one, a little bit tricky the other day. Firstly, it is. So I just want to reassure you that Pilates is really difficult. Our Pilates is anyway, and that's fine, and it's normal. And particularly targeted Pilates classes can be tricky. And that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It means that this is brilliant, because actually we are improving strength in this area. Now, if it feels impossible, of course, that's different. But if it felt really tricky and you felt really challenged, then good. That's great. That is a brilliant sign. And I would be sticking that in my workout diary for the next few weeks, so I could feel my progress within that and feel my sides. So love handles, zero obliques, affectionately known as love handles, feel my sides getting stronger. And there's no sequence with the Pilates classes, but there is a sequence with a deep core. So I would do that, because essentially that's going to work your deep core, which is what we use all the time in Pilates. So I would do the deep core rebuild alongside doing Pilates every week. And if you find a move tough, just take more rest. Don't be so hard on yourself to have to finish and complete every exercise without having a rest. Do what you can. I always give progressions, regressions within the workout. So do what you can. Listen to the regressions where you need to, just listen to your body, have so much patience and keep doing it. The only way to get better at it is to keep on doing it. And then you can use that deep core rebuild alongside to build strength in this area as well. With YogaScape, similar kind of thing. There's no real, say, you know, 1 is easier than 10, for example. It doesn't quite work like that. Every release is going to have a warm-up. Every release will have a strength track, a balance track, hip release track, a back release track, and a leg release track. The ones that say flexibility, they're the ones that are going to be more stretchy. The ones that say strength, they're going to be the ones that have, you know, more of the first tracks, as in like the warm-up, the strength, etc. So I would say keep at it, keep practicing it, have patience, take more breaks where you need to. If a move feels impossible, regress it, or actually if it doesn't feel right in your body, change the move and do the one that we were doing before. And when you do YogaScape as well, choose a release and stick to that particular release. For example, YogaScape number 9, stick to that, or number 4, choose your number, stick to that for about at least 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, doing it once or twice a week. And then you'll be able to see your progress. Where people don't is where they lose patience with themselves. So they'll try something, they'll find it difficult and then think, I can't do this. I need something else. When actually you've got everything you need there, particularly with online. You can change the move, you can regress the move, you can pause it, you can do the first 10 minutes, and then in a couple of weeks, you could do 15 minutes and then 20 minutes. So it just takes consistency and lots of patience with you. And Pilates is brilliant for the control, stability, or strength side. And YogaScape is more about mobility, flow, and flexibility. So they both complement each other really, really beautifully. And also, I just want to say, you don't need to be retreat ready. Just come, bring yourself, and we'll take it step by step on the day anyway. So please don't worry and don't feel like you need to be retreat ready to do or to attend. Okay, team, I think that's a wrap. I'm just checking in case I missed any questions, but I just want to say thank you so much for these questions, and I really, really hope you get lots of value from listening to the Q&A as well. And actually, if you are listening on the podcast and you're wanting structure in your week, you're wanting somewhere to begin, maybe you're in your 40s or your 50s or your 60s and you're listening to this and you're thinking, I really, really need to focus on some strength training, or I really need to improve my core strength, or actually I want to be that person who is, and I know it sounds pretty drastic, but who makes sure that I make it to my kid's wedding or my grandkid's wedding. So it's all about looking after you. That's what we're all about here. And actually, on that note, this month, we're not just talking about physical strength and health, which I know in turn massively, massively helps with mental, emotional well-being. But actually, we're having a big focus on that with our guest speaker, who is fellow squaddy, Jules, and she's taking everyone through a month of journaling. And it's just one of the bonuses that we throw in with being a squaddy is we always have a focus or a challenge going on. So there's always something to get your teeth into. But I think this is a really, really nice focus that not enough of us do, just actually taking it a bit of time to reflect about, you know, how we feel and what we want to get out of this week. So I'm going to finish with Jules's prompt. So Jules's prompt is, so grab yourself a journal if you haven't already. What is taking up most of my mind and heart space at the moment? So having a little think about that. And as this week begins, how do I want to feel by the end of it? And what do I need to do and prioritize in order to achieve that feeling? So I think sometimes I call it bulldozing my way through the week. Sometimes I just bulldoze my way through the week. I've got a to-do list. I'm trying to achieve my to-do list rather than reverse engineering. Okay, well, how do I want to feel by the end of the week? What do I want the outcome to be? What do I want to achieve by the end of the week? And reverse engineer it that way. It's quite a powerful thing to do. Anyway, I'm going to leave you on that note. Have a little think. And if you are interested in joining us, just message me, or squadders, if you know anyone who wants to join us, who wants to improve their well-being too, then do get in touch and I would love to see if it can help. And I hope this has been really useful, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your week and I will see you in class.